Hans van der Pluijm, a former coach of Kumasi Ashanti Gold, has come under a lot of heat for something he said in an interview on radio. He says the Black Stars collapse does not include locally based players, a lot of them at least, because they do not have the quality to play for the Ghana Black Stars. We'll look at that statement, what exactly he said, and if there's any truth in it. He also talked about the Ghana Football Association situation with the technical advisor and the technical director and the whole conflict of issues that we have with our coaching staff. He was really candid about his opinion on it, and was of the opinion that it was sort of a shoehorning happening in that respect. We'll look at his thoughts and my opinion on what he had to say concerning the locally based players and collapse into the senior national team, the Black Stars. As usual, subscribe if you have not. Click on the notification bell to get more updates. So it's no secret, there's no denying the fact that locally based players do not get a good rep in the Ghana national team, which is the senior national team, the Ghana Black Stars. And a lot of people have been anchoring that more locally based players should be introduced into the Ghana Black Stars. Well, it's not like they have not been introduced. They have been introduced, and the results have not been great for them. They have not done well when called up into the senior national team, and owing to that, many are also of the school of thought that they probably do not cut it in terms of the quality needed to join the senior national team, the Black Stars. An assertion that is shared here by former Ashanti Gold coach Mr. Van der Pluijm, Hans van der Pluijm. He was saying that he believes that there are not enough talent in the Ghana Premier League to be considered for selection into the senior national team, the Black Stars. He wants Ghanaians to come to the realization that the quality of the local players cannot be compared to that of the European-based players, and that is why the coaches overlook them. Black Stars coaches are often criticized for leaving out local players in their call-ups for Hans, but Hans van der Pluijm has said the coaches are supposed to assemble the best Ghanaian talents available, and local players in the Premier League do not have such quality, he said. Let's listen to exactly his words. But before he commented on the issue of the locally based players not being of good quality, he talked about the fact that the technical director and the technical advisor role that had been brought up for the Ghana Black Stars and the junior national team, the Black Stars, was quite confusing to him, because usually he feels that the technical director has the advisory role in terms of giving technical advice to the technical team of the Black Stars. He spoke on that and then commented on the Black Stars call up for locally based players, which I'll give my thoughts on. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
I think it is a bit a strange situation, and from one side, our decisions are taken by the Football Federation. And I think if there is a technical director, he should be also a technical advisor normally, in normal circumstances. But in this case, maybe one party has already making a choice for Chris Hughton, and the other side is responsible for the technical director on the Football Federation, and they have made a choice. In my opinion, it is a bit strange. I think that we all have to accept that the quality in general has gone down, and everything has, of course, also to do with the COVID problem. That there are times that a long time they couldn't train and all that kind of situations. But I don't think that there is enough top talent for the Black Stars in Ghana Premier League.
Coach, you are saying we don't have enough quality from the local league to get to the Black Stars proper?
In my opinion, it is you have to select the best foreign players. That is what they have to scout and to get them ready to play for the national team. Besides that, they have to cooperate. The technical bench has to cooperate with the coaches from all the teams to sit down from the local league and discuss with them the quality of the players. Then I think then you can get the best local players in your team.
So you heard Mr. Van der Pluijm there talking about the fact that locally based players do not make the cut for the senior national team, and to some extent he has a point. Not 100% agreeing with him, because I feel that probably the locally based players are not giving the chance. When we called up locally based players, highest goal scorer in the Ghana Premier League, David Abagna, to the African Cup of Nations, he was not even allowed a chance to kick a ball. Same with Maxwell Abekwe, and the chances for them are limited. But let's look at those that have been given the chance in the past, and they are in the person of Accra Hearts of Oak captain Fatau, who played at right back for the Ghana Black Stars versus South Africa in a World Cup qualifier game. A few months after that World Cup qualifier game, Fatau came out to say that the stadium and the enormity of the occasion got to him, and that is why he could not play very well over there. The goal came from his end, and his poor defending led to South Africa winning that game 1-0. Well, the truth is not that the locally based players are not good enough. It is that we have abandoned our local football to our detriment. And now you know, and I've spoken about it on this channel before, that when the Ghana Black Stars started out, it was local players that formed the core of the Ghana Black Stars. In the 1957s, getting to the early 1960s, president of the time, Pluijm invested a lot in nurturing the talent of locally based players. And note, he used to send coaches outside the country to learn from foreign coaches, and then they come down to impart that knowledge into the players and into honing and coaching them. The truth is that football is progressive. There's more of a scientific approach to football now than there used to be a couple of years ago or 10 years ago, and we are playing catch up in that respect. In terms of facilities in the local scene, we are way behind. In terms of coaching for young players up and coming in the academies, they are not getting the best of training. And it's all down to our leaders and those in charge of football clubs. I have to say that the standards have fallen well below what is expected of players that are supposed to be at that level. You see players who enter the senior national team, and some training routines that they'll be going through that they should have been taught right from the academy level. They are not familiar with it because their upbringing on the local scene was not well done. The truth is that we have neglected our football locally, and that is why probably the players in the local scene do not flourish when they get up there. We've heard stories of players who do so well on the Ghana Premier League front, but then go outside and find themselves wanting. They cannot break into first team places. They cannot do well as we used to see them doing well on the local scene. It's all down to their training. Football is progressing, and the scientific approach being used by most of the big clubs across Europe is something we are playing catch up with here in the local scene. It is not about the players per se, but about the system and investment that is going into them. They are not being taught the right things at the early stages, and that is the basis on which they are used to be judged on the international scene. You don't go to the international scene and something you should have learned in the academy will now be taught to you. It's assumed that you know it. The investment in training our local players is not there enough. As I said, Kwame Nkrumah, even at his time, used to send coaches outside the country. He sent CK Jemfi outside the country. He came back and won Ghana AFCONs. 2 AFCONs he won us in a row. It's for no reason. We need to keep learning and then imparting that knowledge here on the local scene to help the locally based players. And that is the only way we can catch up to the standards that are elsewhere. The training facilities, the pitches, everything is way behind. And I have to say, if things don't change drastically, that will be the story for locally based players. Not to say they are not good enough, but the systems in place are not helping them reach their optimum potential and to be the best they can be. I think locally based players can do well on the international scene, but then they have to be facilitated from the academy level, and that is where it is lacking, and that is how and why I would agree with what he says to a certain point. The locally based players are not flourishing enough. The standards set for players that are honed outside the country is way higher than those set for those that are honed inside the country, and that is why probably on the international stage when they get there, they are not up to it. But let me know what you think in the comments box. I agree with Hans van der Pluijm. To some extent, the locally based players do not get the optimum training they need to make it to the top level, and that is why probably they do not get the quality that calls them into the Ghana Black Stars team. Let me know what you think on the front of that one. So that has been it for today. Looking at the comments by Hans van der Pluijm on locally based players for representation in the Black Stars, justified or not, I tend to agree, and it's because we have neglected the development of our football locally. We have stagnated in progressing our football locally and improving our talents at a young level. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the week.